So, let's say you're walking around, if you're going to the mall, or you're just driving around, you start seeing all these new ads on the, the bus.
Right.
They put ads on the bus. They put the flyers that come for the, you get the CVS, the flyer, or for the supermarket. And you start seeing all these new ads for a new, like a King Cullen or a Wallbounds, but it's not any of those. It's like a new supermarket.
Something that we don't know. Okay.
Something you don't know. Supermarket, but more like a Target, like a Walmart, because they do everything. Like you could buy TVs, but also your grocery shopping and all that.
Okay.
And it's like a month, and it says on this date is going to be this grand opening of this. It's just one store, one big store.
One store.
But you see, like you get the thing in the mail, and people are saying, "Oh, have you heard about this new place that's opening up? It's going to be big." And you look through the flyers, and you see all the prices are really good, like cheaper than all of the other, comparable stores.
Right.
And it says, I'm thinking, like, there's going to be this huge grand opening, and at this grand opening, free food, giveaways, really cheap prices, all of this stuff. Time and date and place. Do you think you would go to the grand opening event?
Okay, my first question would be location as to how close it is to me.
It's close to you. You can get to it. You got to drive to it, but you could still get. It's not like an hour. It's not like a Stu Leonard.
Okay,
it's like,
that's fine.
It's
that's
close.
good.
You could easily get to it.
All right. My second question would be, it's got to be a day that I'm available, like a Saturday or Sunday.
It's a Saturday morning.
Okay. I probably would go, but I would be in my head preparing myself for huge crowds and long lines. So the answer to the question is yes, I would go to the event because everybody needs to save money.
And let's say, okay, so you go to the event and there's people in the big parking lot. They've just built this new site.
Okay.
Is that a site, like, that old fence factory, the Zero or whatever, and they were supposed to build on it? A place like that nothing's ever happened. You never passed it. It looks like maybe they're doing something you don't know.
Yes.
Let's say it's there or something.
Yes.
You go out to it, and there's all this land around. And they have, like, the parking lot, which is separate from the main building of this place.
Okay.
They're, like, lining the people up. They have, like, balloons and streamers and all this, crazy build-up stuff. And they have, like, a ribbon-cutting ceremony with, like, the founders of the thing. And they're like, okay, now it's 11 o'clock, we're going to let you guys all go to the thing. So you have a question?
Well, I would say, for the first 1,000 people that enter the doorway, give them a coupon or something. $5 or $10 off. Or $25.
So they let the people start walking out, and you have to walk to get to this.
Okay, because
it's across a field.
Right, you gotta walk.
A brand new development. You're walking, you see this big front banner.
Okay.
Of the name of this big superstore.
Okay.
Like a Price Club thing.
Yes.
You're walking. It's like it looks like a mass migration of people. Some people at the front start to run because they think if they get there first, they're going to get the good deals.
Yeah.
You get to this thing that you think is the building, and it turns out it's just a printed banner with, like, a storefront propped up with, there's nothing there. It's just a banner. It's essentially a billboard. It's a billboard.
Got it.
Do you feel that how do you feel that you came this way, you're thinking you're going to get good deals.
Right.
There's
nothing there.
And right at this point, you don't know what the story is, why they did this. You got all these advertisements for a fake. What do you think, how do you think you would react?
My initial reaction?
Mm-hmm.
What were they thinking?
But would you be, essentially, would you be upset? Would you be shocked? Would you be like, I wasted my time? Like, would you be upset? Right. That's the question, really.
My initial thing was like, holy smokes, I wasted my time. I can't believe this. But then I probably would have stood there for a second and say, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to this for them doing this. Is there a reason? Are they going to give us something so we could go somewhere else? You know, like, are they going to give us a coupon so we could go spend it somewhere else and make some savings? I would have been pretty disappointed that I spent all this time, took a major hike along with thousands and thousands of other people. But I would have said, well, I'm not the only one that's looking for a deal. You know, I would have wanted to. But then I'd look for somebody to try to question them. So why did you do this? Why are we here?
All right. So let's say you're walking around and some people are like, this is, like, are really upset that, like, it's a scam, right? Yeah. They were scammed. They were duped. Then you find out it's these two essentially art students or film students who put all of this money, got a grant or something, to pay for the graphic design, to make up this supermarket, to put out the ads, to put the ads on buses, as an experiment to see the effectiveness of advertising. Do people fall for it? Do people... And the whole was to have it culminate in this grand opening event, and there is no store. To see, and apparently, like, so, now let's say you find out that it's, knowing me, that, and I'm an art student, and you have a background in art you've been to museums, you've been to projects like Jean-Claude and Christo, you know art. Would you then feel still that you've been tricked and you're upset, or would you then feel, how would you,
very
knowing
clever,
that it's a...
I would have said something like, this is a very clever thought, just to get an idea. Because now I appreciate anything. I appreciate writing on the walls, graffiti. I appreciate anything with art. So if after I found out that this was a test or whatever, a theory or something, project, to see if people would come, a project, I would say, well, they succeeded. Kudos to them. They got the people to come and do this. But I still feel I would want something for
having. And could you understand, like, do you think other people who are maybe not art people, who even hate art, would be, like, could you see them being legitimately... Like, would they sue? Could they, like, I think people might even sue these guys for false advertising, but they say that it wasn't false advertising because in the ads, I guess, because you didn't actually see these ads, they didn't explicitly, like, there were products. There were products that they had faked to look like this new brand.
Right.
And so essentially it kind of is false advertising.
Thought. Yeah.
Because I know when you get a coupon and it's not in the store as advertised, or it's not available anymore, it upsets you.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing. You had a coupon.
It is in a way, interesting. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to be pissed. I think. I think I would appreciate it more knowing that it was a project for students, and I would accept it. And say, well, they pulled this off. But you're right, you have a good point there. People might, I don't know, suing-wise, I don't know if they could get away with that, but you'd have a lot of pissed off people.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid there was an accident in the parking lot, or somebody slipped and fell, or something. I don't know. Wow, isn't that interesting? Do you have this in mind?
Well, I'll debrief you of why I'm asking this, because we saw a film of this in the Czech Republic that this happened, and it was called, the supermarket was called like Chechny Sen, Czech Dream, and they had radio commercials and all of this build up, and they did exactly that. They brought the people there for the ribbon cutting ceremony, but the thing that makes it different, and I wanted to ask you as an American New Yorker, like, we know big stores, that's part of our culture. For the Czech Republic being so, like, their history, very, they just started getting these type of supermarkets in, like, the 90s.
Right, they're mom and pop places, yeah.
And so for them, these big supermarkets are a big deal. These,
big draw,
And it was doubly a complicated situation, because they did this in 2004, I think, when the Czech Republic was voting on joining the European Union, so it was a very politically charged time. And so in the interviews of the people who went to this ribbon cutting ceremony, a lot of people were very upset because they're thinking, oh, we've been duped, this is the government, and now we're supposed to be joining the European Union, they've made fools of us, so they were very upset. I think it would be a very different situation in America where it also depends on who you ask. Like, you have an art, like, you know art.
Right, I
think people who don't know art would be upset. I think older people would be more upset than younger people. And it was in this video, they show so many elderly people with their crutches, canes and such, making their way out, and they get to the banner, and they see it's just a banner, and they're like, what is this?
What's this?
They don't, they wouldn't accept that it was a project, an experiment. So, yes. Okay.
Wow. So how, okay.
No, go ahead.
Curious. So how did that thing, were there any repercussions from that?
I think,
did the movie show you anything?
I think in the extras of the movie, the two guys who did it, they weren't beaten up, but they had a little bit of altercation with the people there. There was a lot of verbal, like, you are, bad people. Fraud, all of that. And I don't know exactly what's going on now, but the part of the movie was very much emphasizing what they went through, the advertising, talking with graphic designers to essentially build for, they had
build this up,
studio photography of milk cartons with the label of this fake supermarket to make people believe that this was going to be real. So it's all about branding and advertising and buying into this because we were surrounded by ads and we believe them. And like you said, I would go anywhere for a good deal.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was about.
Wow.
But
wow.